It's your boy Ty back here with another video, and in this video today, guys, we're going to be going over and ranking each and every pink diamond that we do have in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM as it stands right now. Now look, if I miss out on any pink diamonds, I'm sorry. I tried to include all the evos that did evo to a pink diamond. Now if there's like a duo or something that makes cards pink diamond, I mean, I didn't include that. Now as we dive into Klay Thompson, if you're new to the channel, love MyTEAM content, make sure you guys do smash that subscribe button. Upload more MyTEAM content here than nearly anywhere else. Now here's the deal for Klay. He's one of the best sharpshooters in MyTEAM. He is. I mean, there's no question his fade is pretty good too. I mean, plays good defense. If you want somebody to sit up here and talk bad about Klay, it's not going to be me. I actually really like Klay Thompson. And when we're talking about the best pink diamonds, maybe he's got to go A tier with as much as I like him. I just don't think he's the best shooting guard in MyTEAM. And I think that's where I struggle. Like even a guy like T-Mac, well, how does he compare to Klay? Even a guy, let's say, obviously Kobe's better, but even a guy, let's say like Ron Artest, Kawhi, how do they compare to Klay? I think that's what really makes it tough for me. I'm going to put Klay at A tier. I really do rate the card pretty high though. Luka Doncic up next. I think he's one of the best point guards in the game, but I still don't think he's S tier. And I'm in the minority. A lot of people don't like Luka. I think a lot of people are really starting to realize though how good Luka is. Came out over 3 weeks ago, so I had to sell my Luka to kind of capitalize on the MT that Luka, had. But I still think he's an A tier point guard. Plays good defense, can knock down shots. His leaner is good as well. Overall, Luka Doncic is a really solid player in my team. Put him right next to Klay Thompson. Adam Morrison, again, A tier. I don't know how any of these cards can go S tier. I know eventually I'm going to have to make some maybe adjustments. But I like all these cards. I feel like all these cards are in that 2 to 3 to 4 range at their specific positions. Luka, I guess, could be number 1 still. But, I mean, I can't put any of them at S tier. I do like all of them, though. Andre Kirilenko, I think AK isn't quite as good as Adam Morrison. Now, I know some people might think Adam Morrison, or that AK might be better than Adam Morrison. If that's you, that's fine. I mean, do what you guys have to do. For me, I've just had more success with Adam Morrison, I think, and so I'm going to put him higher. I do think Adam Morrison is more of a threat as well, especially offensively, which definitely does factor into my opinion as well. But again, AK is going to be better defensively, so I don't hate it if you like him more. Bob Pettit, I mean C tier. I don't know why 2K decides to make the collector level rewards bad. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Why are people spending all the money in the world to be a top collector, right? And they get bad rewards. That is something that has never added up to me, never made sense to me. Like, why are the collector level rewards no names that just don't make sense? Like, why are we not seeing like a pink diamond AK in collector? Instead, we're getting Bob Pettit and Jerry Sloan. It just does not sit right with me. Carmelo Anthony up next. I'm going to throw him at B tier. I actually like Melo. Like, I think Melo's a cheese ball. When it comes down to greening shots, there's not many people in 2K that are going to green more shots than Carmelo Anthony. And it's not like anything crazy. It's just his release is super easy to time, easy to green. Defensively, Melo's not going to be the best, and I'm not going to sit here and act like he is. But especially on that offensive end of the court, I mean, it's undeniable how good Carmelo Anthony is. Chet Holmgren up next. I really like Chet. Is he A tier? Is he S tier? That's the question we got to ask ourselves. At the power forward position, I think he's my favorite power forward. And I think if you're asking me one pink diamond between all these top guys, I'm taking Chet. I'm putting him at S tier. I really do rate the card highly. Dame up next. I mean, D tier or F tier. The problem with Dame is he's just undersized. Like, Dame's release is good. I'm not going to hate on his release. His movement's fine. He actually dunks the ball well. But, I mean, are you really playing defense with Damian Lillard? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. And I feel like for most people, the answer is no. They do not play that much defense with Dame. But I do like Dame more than Derrick Rose. You want to talk about an absolute scrub that plays no defense, that is horrible at the game? It is Derrick Rose. This card stinks. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit up here in front of you guys and hype up a card that I just think is absolutely horrible. Desmond Bane. I know there are some people in the MyTEAM community hyping this card up. He is C tier. I mean, Desmond Bane is 6'5". He's got a bad wingspan, bad player build. His player build's wide. I'm just saying his wingspan's not long. I just don't see it with Desmond Bane. Yes, the Ruby Desmond Bane for his time was fantastic. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat things, but I mean, he was fantastic. But I mean, this pink diamond Desmond Bane, there are just way other better shooting guards in my team. Now, if you have Desmond Bane and you're really liking him, it's fine. I'm not saying Desmond Bane is absolutely horrible. Just don't think he's one of the best shooting guards in the game. Giannis Antetokounmpo, pink diamond up next. Am I crazy to put him at S tier right next to Chet? I think that's what he deserves. And I know a lot of you guys might be like, really, Ty? You like Giannis that much? I do. I mean, I just don't see the downsides to running a Giannis Antetokounmpo card. If you can green with that release, everything else on the court he does is fantastic. The only thing you could say is Ty, his release is baited, which it is. I mean, it's easy to contest. It's easy, you know, to get a fake stop on all of those things. I understand. I get all that. But I do still think at the end of the day, Giannis deserves S tier. Now, again, you guys can argue it if you want, but that's where I do have Giannis. Hakeem Olajuwon up next. B tier? I mean, I don't even hate Hakeem. I actually think Hakeem is solid. But I mean, he's not Chet level. He's not Giannis level. Maybe you argue A tier. I just feel like eventually we're going to get so many players at A tier and it's just going to be tough. I'm going to put Hakeem at B tier. And I don't hate Hakeem. Whenever I play against Hakeem, he actually plays really well and people green every shot with him. But I think I got to throw him at B tier. Jaylen Brown. I mean, B tier. He's fine. People are gonna hype Jaylen Brown up, but he's objectively fine. The release is just too slow in my opinion. Everything else on the court, Jaylen Brown does. It's just that release, I think, is just a little too slow for what I would like it to be. Jerry Sloan, D tier, and I'm moving Bob Pettit to D tier as well. I mean, these cards can't play. I'm sorry. I don't know what they're doing on the court for you. I don't know why 2K even makes collector level a thing if they're going to give you Jerry Sloan and Bob Pettit. I mean, I'm sorry. The cards are bona fide scrubs. And maybe if 2K made collector level worth it eventually. I know the ultimate reward is Kobe Bryant, but it's like they got to eventually make collector level worth something. Jimmy Butler up next. Now, for Jimmy Butler, I don't mind the card at all. I think he's B tier. I like him more than Desmond Bane by far. I think Jimmy Butler moves well. The only problem I have with Jimmy Butler as it stands right now is I think that release is just a little too slow. Now, a lot of people might like it or think it's fine. It is fine. But a lot of the reason Jimmy Butler is good is because his movement's good and he's going to play great defense. That release, it's easy to green, but it is a little slow. Joel Embiid, I'm going to throw him at the same tier as Hakeem Olajuwon. I don't hate Joel Embiid. I don't hate Hakeem Olajuwon. I think the cards are very comparable, very similar. They're just both bigs that you can go out there and compete with. You can have success with. I mean, that's where I'd put both of them as it stands right now. Next up, guys, John Stockton, F tier. I don't care. I'm not going to hype up a John Stockton card that's 6-0 that does nothing on the court for you. Give me Dame over John Stockton. I don't care. Like, you guys can hate me, but I'm not hyping up John Stockton. Cat. Look, Cat. It's sad. I basically spent all my MT locking in for this card. And it's fine, right? It's fine. But the card's release is just so, I don't know, man. I'm going to put him at B tier because defensively, he's still so tough. Offensively, it's so tough. If he just had a better release, this card would be so good. But his release is like borderline broken. It's hard to time, hard to green. If you get his release down, he's fine. But he's like a Joel Embiid that's just hard to time his release. That's basically what Big Cat is. Karl Malone is fantastic. And it's sad that I got to hype up Karl Malone. Like, it really is. But the card is so good. I mean, A tier, it's undeniable how good Karl Malone is in my team. KG, I mean, C tier, I think is the right spot for KG. And I don't even... Look, I don't hate KG, but I do think Hakeem's better. I think Embiid's better. I think Cat's better, so I'm going to put KG at C tier. It's kind of crazy, but at some stage, I got to fill in these lower tiers. Kobe Bryant up next, S tier. No questions asked. Kobe Bryant is so good. In my opinion, maybe even the best card in the game. Like, I think Kobe Bryant is that good in my team. And again, if you don't want to hype up Kobe, you don't have to. But I think it's undeniable how much success I've had with Kobe Bryant. I think he's the best card in my team as it stands. Larry Bird, I mean, C tier. And you guys might be like, all right, Ty, stop trolling. No, C tier. I mean... I know badge-wise he's immaculate. I know you guys might think he's going to be good. He needs an update, 2K. And it's not too late. He needs an update. I mean, put that release on quick. Put his dribble style a little better. He's still not going to be to the level of Kobe Bryant. Like, he's still not going to be great. He would be better and more usable, though. As it stands right now, if you're hyping up Larry Bird, I don't know what to say. The card is not good in my team. Magic, he's not great either. I'm going to go B tier with Magic. Everybody, I don't have Magic. I'm grinding for Magic as it stands right now, and I'm excited to get you guys a gameplay Magic so I can tell you guys for myself how good Magic Johnson is. But I think the problem I have with Magic is this. His release is slow. His movement is bad. All he gives you on the court is his height. That is it. And I think that's a problem. Like, you can't have a card that all he can do is be tall. I mean, he's got to play some defense. He's got to do something on the court for you. And offensively, Magic can't. His release is horrible. His movement's not good. It's just hard to hype him up. Michael Jordan up next. By himself, no duo, B tier. And I like MJ. I think he's so complete. But if you're talking about MJ by himself, I can't hype him up more than B tier. Now with the duo, probably A tier. Still not Kobe level, but probably A tier. But without the duo, I'd much rather have Klay Thompson out there than Michael Jordan. I just would right now. And I think the more I've used Michael Jordan, the more... No, I gotta put him at A tier. Because, I mean, I'm gonna say it like this. It depends what game mode you play with MJ. Because if you're playing triple threat online, you're going to struggle with Michael Jordan. You're playing clutch time, you're probably going to struggle with Michael Jordan. You're playing unlimited, you're probably going to like Michael Jordan. So I think that's really what it comes down to. Whatever game mode you play, because I mean his release is slow. So the game modes that you don't have a lot of space, which I would say especially clutch time, MJ's just going to struggle. Definitely. I still think he's A tier though. Michael Red, F tier. F tier, F tier, F tier. I don't have the words for how bad Michael Red is in my team. And like, even if they don't update Larry Bird, they gotta update Michael Red. To have him be one of your main grinds in 2K, and to have a card as bad as Michael Red, I don't know how to phrase it. The card absolutely stinks. I mean, even the next guy, Paul Pierce, who I absolutely would not spend your tokens on. Like, I have a ton of tokens in my team. I'm not spending them on Paul Pierce. Like, he's just going to be a waste of tokens. Michael Red is even worse. For Paul Pierce, I'm going to go D tier. You guys might be like, oh, Ty, he can move, he can groove. I don't care. That release is so bad that I'll never hype up Paul Pierce. Until 2K finds a way to make him better, I'm not hyping up a card like Paul Pierce, who I think is just a card that, he's just a filler. Like, give us a good token card too with the new token system. Rondo, I mean, F tier. And it's sad because Rondo is like the highlight. He's your triple threat offline, 100 win reward. If you get 100 wins in triple threat offline, you get Rondo. But it's like, are we really hyping up Rondo? Like, really? Is that what you want me to do in this video? I can't do it. Roy Hibbert, C tier. I think at the center position, Hibbert's fine. I don't think he's like game-breaking good, but I think he's fine at that center position. Like, he's a card you can use, you can have fun with. He's 7'2". He's going to go out there and compete. Not ever going to be a card that, is going to be game-breaking good, but he can knock down shots, has a serviceable enough 3-ball, and he's going to play decent defense. Hibbert, I got at C tier. Scottie Pippen is absolutely outstanding. I'm throwing Scottie Pippen at S tier. When you talk about small forwards, you gotta mention Scottie Pippen's name. I mean, he is one of the best and most complete small forwards that I've ever used. Release, and again, a lot of people might be like, well, Ty, he's got shooting guard eligibility. I get it, but he can't really move, and so for me to put him at that shooting guard position, it's just kind of tough for me as it stands right now. But yes, small forward shooting guard positions, got one of the best releases, gonna play great defense, obviously better with the MJ duo. Steph Curry, I mean, I like Steph. How much? I don't know. He's just so small where it's like, again, in triple threat, clutch time, he can get by. In unlimited, he's going to get exposed. I guess I don't hate Steph. Maybe B tier, maybe C tier. I don't know. We'll have to see where I do end things. Steve Francis stinks. D tier. I mean, he's taller than Rondo, taller than Stockton. So, I mean, I don't totally think the card is a scrub. But it's like, what are we really doing talking about, a guy like Steve Francis? I mean, the card's not going to be great. I think that's relatively simple and easy enough for everyone to understand. It's just, he's not... I don't want to just hate on cards all the time. So, I mean, if you got Steve Francis, do what you got to do. Thurl Bailey up next. I got to go B tier. And I don't mind Thurl Bailey, but he's not as good as Karl Malone, and he's not as good as Adam Morrison. He's fine at the 4. Throw him right in there with Hakeem, Cat, Joel Embiid, but he's not that next level of good at A tier. T-Mac, you guys can slander me all you want. I love Tracy McGrady in my team. I get cooked by T-Mac about as much as anybody at the shooting guard position. Why? Everybody's going to say, well, Ty, his release is slow. You know what, guys? You're right. Is that what you want? Is that what you want me to say? You know what, guys, in the MyTEAM community, you're right. Because you are. His release is slow. His release is tough. It's tough for him to be a primary ball handler. But if you use T-Mac in the right way, he's got Hall of Fame clamps. He's 6'8", a good defender that is just kind of a spot-up guy, that secondary ball handler. You're going to love T-Mac. Why? His release is tough to contest. Like, I know it's slow, and I know you guys might not love it because it is on the slower side of things. So tough to contest, so easy to green. He is fantastic. Victor Wembanyama up next, S tier. No questions about it. I still think you can make is he the best card in the game? I think it's close between him and Kobe. I think I would give the edge to Wemby though, just because the fact, like, he is 7'4", he's a stretch big. The fact that people compare him to D-Rob and say D-Rob is just as good is absolutely mind-blowing. Blake up next, D tier. Blake stinks. I'm not gonna hype up Blake Griffin. I do not like the card. He's undersized. Even compared to like a Roy Hibbert KG, it's not close. Those guys blow Blake Griffin out of the water. Dirk, F tier. And I know there's going to be Dirk stands because I see Dirk ran quite a bit. Dirk stinks, guys. I don't know who needs to hear it. Dirk absolutely stinks in my team. And if you're running Dirk, I'm sorry for you because who led you in the wrong direction for you to ever use this card? He is not good. Slow release, plays no defense. Dirk stinks. D-Lo up next. I'm going to go B tier for D-Lo. I don't mind D-Lo at all. I'm going to move Steph down to C tier, although I don't want to. D-Lo going to play more defense than is Steph Curry. He's 6'4". Steph is 6'2". That's the big deal. D-Lo, I don't love him. I wouldn't recommend spending MT on him, but let's say you somehow got the card for free. He can definitely play for you guys. That's going to wrap it up for our tier list today. I'm super eager to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.